I'm officially starting Hot Girls for Cuomo. So if you are a hot girl for Andrew Cuomo, I want to hear from you.
That was Emily Austin, conservative influencer, genocide apologist, and apparent founder of Hot Girls for Cuomo. And I'm sure that you're probably not going to be super surprised to learn that that's not the first time that she's run cover for a conservative predator, seeing as how she was one of the right-wing influencers to participate in the Trump regime's Epstein cover-up campaign. But one little problem with her newest venture is that she forgot to do the most important thing when you launch some sort of a campaign. She forgot to secure the domain for Hot Girls for Cuomo. So I don't know how you're supposed to sound off if you're a fellow hot girl for Cuomo, since hotgirlsforcuomo.com takes you to the 168-page report from the New York Attorney General's office, which thoroughly details the sexual harassment allegations from multiple women against Andrew Cuomo. So nice try, Emily. That was a real great work there. Your attempt to sanitize the image of another pervert backfired tremendously, and I feel like by now, if I were her, I would rethink my career choices. But to add insult to injury for Andrew Cuomo, Mamdani delivered what could possibly be a death blow to his campaign at the last debate, and it's within regards to his perversion and predatory behavior.
In 2021, 13 different women who worked in your administration credibly accused you of sexual harassment. Since then, you have spent more than $20 million in taxpayer funds to defend yourself, all while describing these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening. You sought to access her private gynecological records. She cannot speak up for herself because you lodged a defamation case against her. I, however, can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
If you want to be in government, then you have to be serious and mature.
Right, and we all know that the hallmark of maturity is sexually harassing your female staffers. Definitely the mature thing to do. His experience sure is amazing. But I mean, that right there demonstrates why there's no actual Hot Girls for Cuomo campaign, because the man is a degenerate pervert, and women don't really want to put their neck on the line for somebody like that. And I think that his supporters know this, which is why they refuse to hold his feet to the fire. For example, Emily also did an on-the-street style interview with Andrew Cuomo, and rather than asking him tough questions about his record as governor and like his history as a serial sexual harasser, not to be antagonistic, but I mean, if you're a supporter of him, perhaps addressing the concerns that possible supporters have would be useful, but that's not what she did. Take a look at the tough questions that she lobbed at Andrew Cuomo.
Best deli, Katz's, which is a classic.
But not the long lines.
And it is New York. You wait on the line, it's worth it.
Yeah, and best pizza. That's a tricky one.
Best pizza is Gabby's Pizza on Hillside Avenue, Francis Lewis Boulevard in Queens.
Wow, I never had that. Take note. What do you think is New York's best restaurant? This is a big endorsement, guys.
One of my personal favorites is Fresco's by Scotto.
What's the cuisine? Sounds Italian.
Italiano.
Yeah, come on, classic.
Lasagna.
What's New York's best season, winter or summer?
Oh, summer for sure.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna. I was hoping you would say that because everyone comes for the iconic winters, but I can't take the cold.
No.
Can we do something about the weather here?
I'm going to work on it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We love you. New York loves you.
Thank you. Love you.
Outstanding journalism, Emily. Thank you so much. You know, thank goodness we know about his favorite season, because if I had not known that summer was his favorite season, I wouldn't know who to vote for if I lived in New York. You know, might have not had an explanation as to why he killed old people in nursing homes during COVID, but at least we know that he enjoys warm summer days in New York. Very helpful. But another thing that I find hilarious is that as much as Cuomo tries to ingratiate himself with right-wing influencers, since he has no real support among the left and center, at this point, it's very clearly not working. And I say this because he went on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, who has nearly 5 million subscribers on YouTube, and it was by far one of the least popular episodes in months, racking up only 56,000 views in 2 days after it was uploaded, which is even low for me, by the way, who has a fraction of Logan Paul's subscribers. But to make matters worse, the people who did bother to actually watch it were not picking up what Andrew Cuomo was putting down. In fact, the comment section was downright brutal. One of the most embarrassing things I've seen in a minute. How can Cuomo attack Mamdani for being a rich Nepo baby when he was literally the son of the New York governor? I don't think being the son of a professor and a niche movie director really compares. This guy killed my grandma with his policies. Nightmare blunt rotation. APAC money. I speak for all viewers when I say screw Andrew Cuomo. I'm sorry, I can't listen to a lifelong politician say government is bad while being in government his entire life. Hard pass on this one. And they weren't just anti-Cuomo, by the way. They were pissed off at Logan Paul because he didn't ask any substantive questions. I wonder how much billionaire Bill Ackman paid them for this promo. Jesus Christ, you guys are giving this dude a hot stone massage and a happy ending. Absolutely feckless losers that would do anything for a check. Did you ask him about nursing homes? If Logan had real balls, he would bring Mamdani next week. How much was Logan Paul paid for this? This is not an interview. This is propaganda. Flagrant podcast with Mamdani got 140K views in 6 hours. This only has 42K views in a day. This got no motion. And to that last commenter's point, their interview with Mamdani is already outperforming episodes that they posted weeks ago, and the comment section is also overwhelmingly positive with comments like, he's spending more money against me than I would even tax him. That's a bar, saying this about something that Zohran Mamdani said about Andrew Cuomo. Zohran isn't funded by APAC. This guy never uses filler words ever. He can immediately answer all sort of questions. This guy is a genius. Name me a time the entire country cared about a mayoral race. Zohran, you've got a whole lot of people rooting for you, man. So there you have it. And I've got to say that it gives me so much hope to see people actually critically consume content these days, because there was a time, particularly during the height of the pandemic, where it seemed like people were just willing to turn off their brains and accept whatever slop their favorite podcaster shoved down their throats. And that's so harmful. Like, you have to be a responsible consumer of media and question and fact check and consider biases. But these days, more people are willing to be vocal and disagree and demand more. And as somebody with a platform myself, that's actually very good. You should demand more from us. And I also want to point out that, like, in these comment sections, you don't see anybody screeching about Zohran being too woke or anyone freaking out about him being a socialist that, you know, would otherwise be a controversy, as it was during the Bernie 2020 and 2016 era, because people are yearning for politicians that will meaningfully change the system and address their material needs. So it's so nice to see, you know, somebody who represents my politics land, because it validates everything that I've been saying for a decade on this show, but still question me. But, you know, I'm more right and these people are more wrong, obviously. But to get back to Cuomo, you know, it's clear that his attempt to court Republicans is very clearly failing, spectacularly so. He also went on Fox News, did nothing for him, you know, but he's not getting them to bite. And I don't want you to take it from me. I want you to take it from Nick Risen of Politico, who has some quotes that are really funny. He reports, Andrew Cuomo courts Republican voters and isn't finding enough takers. Quote, I've talked to a lot of Republicans, and the thought of voting for Andrew Cuomo makes them vomit. Or they would hold their nose and do it because they can't stand the thought of a Marxist in City Hall, said former Westchester County executive Rob Astorino, who ran against Cuomo in the 2014 gubernatorial race. Quote, some of them would just stay home. The question is whether there would be enough of them out there for him to do it. Another quote, Republican voters are not going to vote for Andrew Cuomo, the city's 5 GOP county chairs said in a joint statement. And I think that local Republican leaders probably issued that statement in response to a radio ad that Cuomo ran, where he basically said that a vote for Sliwa is a vote for Mamdani. You know, he's going to take away votes from me. And if you really don't want the worst person to win, you should vote for somebody who you don't necessarily agree with, but isn't the worst case scenario. But I mean, they're still not biting. And they won't, which shouldn't be surprising because GOP voters never vote based on electability. The Republican establishment used that same tactic in 2016 to scare people away from voting for Donald Trump. And we all now know how that story ended. So it's hilarious to see him use this centrist playbook on an entirely different portion of the electorate who never went for that and expect it to work. It just shows you how out of touch he is. But we're still not done yet, because Cuomo's team also put out an anti-Mamdani attack ad that is entirely AI generated, and it is so explicitly racist that they took it down like that immediately. But before we talk about their hilariously pathetic response, let me just play the ad for you in its entirety, because goddamn.
Zohran Mamdani's opponents want you to believe he's an inexperienced radical whose policies will make New York City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy.
He's just trying to even the playing field.
You know, give everyone a fair shot. Sure, he said multiple times we need to defund the police, but that was just a metaphor.
And yes, he did say crime is a social construct, but that was also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such as
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting.
third-degree assault,
Trespassing. Prostitution.
And drunk driving.
With plans to decriminalize all drugs, Mamdani will be a job creator for drug dealers.
Instead of helping us homeless get off the streets and into the mental health facilities we need, he wants to give us safe injection sites to do crack and let us sleep in subway carts.
These are actual policies Mamdani and the DSA want to implement on day one.
When a woman's being domestically abused, she finally won't have to deal with some pesky cop to arrest the abuser, but now a social worker to help, kumbaya the situation.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Mamdani is finally lowering jail sentences.
guilty!
But Mamdani says you're free to go. Who cares if legalizing prostitution statistically leads to an increase for sex trafficking of women and young girls by 70%?
You can't have safety without equality.
For unlawful abiding citizens like us, globalize the intifada.
I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
Yep. I'm a criminal.
For Zohran.
For Zohran Mamdani!
I didn't have a real job until I was 30, but sure, give me the keys to the city. What's the worst that can happen?
Paid for by Cuomo for NYC.
Jesus fucking Christ. You're getting a glance at what Republican attack ads would look like in the 90s if they had AI back then. It's just a catastrophe on so many levels for so many different reasons. The Islamophobia, the overt racism, the overt hysteria. And I have to believe that the person who greenlit this was a double agent secretly trying to get Mamdani elected, because I don't know how something like this happens. How you, one, create something like this and then you post it. Like, how does that happen? I imagine there's some chain of command, but everybody in that chain of command, they've got to be all in the tank for Mamdani, because how do you let this happen? And it just goes to show you that Cuomo is aware of the fact that he's not offering voters solutions to their problems. So like the best he can offer is over-the-top GOP-style fear-mongering with AI slop. But somehow the response to this video is even funnier, because even Fox News is calling it controversial, and they report Cuomo campaign spokesman Rich as a Party told the New York Times that the video was posted in error and wasn't done yet. So it's such a great explanation, because, they're basically saying, oh, we didn't mean to post this racist ad that we took the time to generate. We're still working on it. And, by work, we mean we're tweaking the prompt that we're feeding into AI so we can still fearmonger, but perhaps we still keep the mask on at least a little bit. I mean, who the hell is running this campaign? I have to find out. I would love to meet this person so I could pick their brains and also just thank them for their service to the Mamdani campaign, because they are doing an amazing job here. But look, I will say this, it's not over till it's over, even though I'm feeling confident. So, I'm not going to feel total relief until Mamdani is sworn in. But I mean, Cuomo's campaign is giving me so much more hope and confidence about Mamdani's chances next month, aside from the polls. And I've got to say, as much as I despise Andrew Cuomo, I will admit I am thoroughly enjoying the train wreck that is his campaign. So keep it up, Cuomo, because you are doing great, bud.
Alpha male, not a beta male.